Lots of nostalgia this week. Cup Series cars testing on track at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Kevin Harvick Incorporated, the race team, is back. But then in more serious news, NASCAR chooses to suspend Josh Williams. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. I'm fired up this morning. Lots of news to get to, but first, this episode is sponsored by Bring It On Cleaner. Bring It On is a family-owned and operated company that's been branding and manufacturing cleaning products and accessories for over 30 years. Bring It On Cleaner works great on windows and glass, tile and grout, tubs and sinks, and they also offer a drill brush set, which is great for deep cleaning those hard-to-reach areas. Head to bringitoncleaner.com. The link is down in the description below to check out these great products and more for yourself. You can also get 10% off your order at checkout by using the code SAVE, S-A-V-E, SAVE. Thank you to Bring It On Cleaner for supporting Out of the Groove. Like I said, I'm a little heated this morning. We'll get to the Josh Williams news in just a few moments. I want to start on a lighter note. Racetrack revived. NASCAR Cup Series cars were on track at North Wilkesboro Speedway yesterday. Tyler Reddick, Chris Buescher, and Austin Dillon made laps. This is pretty crazy. NASCAR's Gen 7 brand new shiny toy on one of its oldest and most historic racetracks. From what I saw and heard, drivers were praising the old, worn-out surface. Tyler Reddick said, hey, delay a repave here as long as possible. Carson Hosovar, who tested a truck here a couple days ago, tweeted that there were 3 seconds of tire fall off over a long run. That's the kind of thing the drivers love. Hopefully it leads to great racing and a good show in May. All-Star Weekend's gonna be fun with trucks and Cup, but really that whole week leading up to the All-Star race is going to be fantastic. And Kevin Harvick's latest announcement is gonna make that week even fantasticer. Kevin Harvick posted a video to Twitter today announcing that he's going to run the Cars Tour event at North Wilkesboro Speedway on May 17th, which I think is the Wednesday before the All-Star race. Good look at the car right here. Kevin Harvick is bringing back KHI, Kevin Harvick Incorporated, the race team side of things. Kevin Harvick indicated this will be the first of several Cars Tour events he will participate in this season. Remember, Kevin Harvick was part of that group a couple months ago that included Dale Earnhardt Jr., Justin Marks, and Jeff Burton, who purchased the Cars Tour. So Kevin Harvick, nearing the end of his Cup Series racing career, is putting all the pieces in place to keep very, very busy in retirement. So a lot of nostalgia this morning between seeing Cup cars testing at North Wilkesboro Speedway once more to Kevin Harvick bringing KHI back to the racetrack. Lots of fun, feel-good stories this morning. I mentioned Carson Hosovar a moment ago. He's actually going to make his Xfinity Series debut a little earlier than originally anticipated. He's going to drive for SS Greenlight this weekend at Circuit of the Americas. Apparently the team and driver Blaine Perkins agreed to part ways, so Hosovar will fill in on short notice. Hosovar was expected to make his Xfinity Series debut in a couple of weeks with Spire Motorsports, so instead, he's going to get some seat time a week early. I want to mention Carson Hosovar as well because he's the special guest on Power Hour, Out of the Groove Power Hour, my podcast I do with Brennan Poole. Our second episode drops tomorrow, Thursday, so you'll get to hear a lot from Carson Hosovar, his racing beginnings. He actually talked about the test at North Wilkesboro this week. I think you'll be very interested in what he has to say, so yeah, that's a nice, comfortable little plug. Carson Hosovar in the news, also going to be on Power Hour in about 24 hours, so hope you guys are looking forward to it. It just hit me that SS Greenlight is a Ford team. Carson Hosovar is a Chevy driver, so I don't know how that works, but I guess it's just a one-off. It's fine. Chevy will just close their eyes, pretend they don't see it. Now let's get to the juicy stuff. Last night, NASCAR handed Josh Williams a one-race suspension for parking his car on the front straightaway at Atlanta this past weekend, getting out and walking across the track, waving at the fans, waving at the officials, after he was told by NASCAR to take his car to the garage. We all know the story at this point. He spent 2.5 hours in NASCAR jail waiting for series director Wayne Auton in the Xfinity Series hauler. He got chewed out, presumably, by Wayne. Now we know he will miss this weekend's race at Circuit of the Americas. Here is the statement Josh Williams posted on social media last night. After the release of NASCAR's statement today about the penalty from Atlanta, I want to take the time to say thank you. I want to thank every one of my sponsors for their continued support. Thank you to all the fans for sticking by my side and showing love. I stand behind what I did and I don't regret any decision I made. I stand behind NASCAR for these decisions and will continue and always continue to support them. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. I hope the loyal fans of NASCAR continue to fill the infields and grandstands. We will be back stronger than ever and ready to get the 92 DGM Racing Team Chevy back up front. Peace and love, Josh Williams. That's about what I expected him to say. He says he stands behind NASCAR's decision. He's going to continue to support NASCAR. That's fine and good, but I noticed he took the first few lines to thank the fans, his sponsors. He thanked those people, the people who've truly been showing him love the past 48 hours. He chose to thank them first, and then slipped in that line about, oh yeah, I stand behind NASCAR's decision, I get it. That's what I'd expect from a statement. He also tweeted this last night. Well, at Denny Hamlin, at least you only have one fine to pay now. You know, I do wonder if NASCAR saw that tweet from Denny Hamlin where he offered to pay Josh's fine, or if NASCAR saw the clip of Josh Williams saying, what are they gonna do, fine me? I can't afford to pay it, and decided, okay, we'll just suspend you then. I doubt that played into their decision, but it could have. NASCAR wants to send a message. You're not sending a message if Denny Hamlin swoops in with his bags of cash and pays your fine for you. There's no message sent. Anyway, the team, DGM Racing, released their own statement. As a result of Saturday's events at Atlanta Motor Speedway, Josh Williams will take a NASCAR-mandated one-week vacation. Alex Labbe will drive the number 92 this weekend at COTA. I mean, now, honestly, look, I wish Josh Williams was driving the car, everyone does, but Alex Labbe at a road course? No slouch. That's not a bad replacement. Did NASCAR make the right call? On one hand, I understand where NASCAR is coming from. You can't have your drivers park their car on the front stretch, show you up, embarrass the sanctioning body, delay the race, walk across a hot track when you're supposed to wait for safety crews to get to you. Like, Josh Williams broke some rules there. NASCAR absolutely has a right to issue a penalty. I think they had to. As funny and entertaining as Josh Williams was on Saturday, that deserved a penalty, no doubt. However, this sort of feels like a two wrongs don't necessarily make a right kind of scenario. Because I think the way NASCAR enforced their rules on Saturday was wrong. If you remember the first stage of that Xfinity race, it was not good. Wreck, caution, slow cleanup, delay. The product was terrible. NASCAR was getting antsy. I'm sure their sponsors, TV partners, were getting antsy as well. Josh Williams' team didn't do a great job sticking on the bare bond, but it's cold. A piece of tape falls off on the racetrack under caution, I should add. Where were NASCAR's, track officials and corner marshals, whatever they're called? How did they not see the piece of tape until after they went back green? Because that's what happened. They went back green and then half a lap later had to throw the caution because then they noticed, oh, there is a piece of tape. Let's yell, put it out. NASCAR has the right, per their own rulebook, to discipline any car that sheds pieces onto the track, that extends or causes a caution, but that's a rule they almost never enforce. NASCAR was frustrated by the whole event and made Josh Williams the scapegoat. They parked him for a piece of bare bond coming off the track. And it's not like this was the second or third time it's happened. It happened once. And NASCAR, your officials could have seen it under caution and we wouldn't have had to throw an extra yellow and delay the race further. They could have just added one more lap before they restarted and sent a truck out to pick it up real quick. They could have done that if they had eyes. NASCAR overreacted, they overstepped and enforced a rule they never enforce. And even within that rule, there are different degrees. NASCAR could have just held Josh Williams for a lap if they wanted to. Instead, they jumped all the way to disqualification. So NASCAR overreacted on Saturday. I think they made a bad call. Clearly, the court of public opinion agrees they made a bad call. It certainly didn't look good optically. Looked like they were picking on a smaller mid-pack team because their product, the NASCAR Xfinity Series product, looked like a joke. So I think NASCAR was wrong to make the initial call. Josh Williams was wrong for parking his car on the start-finish line. Again, that does deserve a penalty, but I guess my point was I was hoping NASCAR would be a little more lenient. They held Josh Williams in NASCAR jail for like 3 hours. This isn't a repeat offender. Josh Williams isn't routinely acting out and causing issues. At least not that I can really think of. I figured NASCAR would hand him a fine, maybe a points penalty, but a suspension? That seems a bit harsh. So I think NASCAR was too harsh with their penalty on Saturday. I think they were too harsh with the decision yesterday. So 2 wrongs don't necessarily make a right. That's the way I see it. Now, to be fair, that team doesn't lose any owner points because they got Alex LeBay in the car this weekend. And owner's points, that's what pays the team best at the end of the year. So Josh Williams sitting out 1 week, it sucks. I'm sure he wants to be in the car, no doubt. Hurts him in the driver points. And I guess he probably doesn't get paid that weekend. You know, he's not driving the car. But in the grand scheme of things, maybe a suspension isn't the worst thing. They could have docked the team owner points. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Suspensions are pretty bad. Don't get me wrong. No driver wants to be suspended, have to miss a week at all. Absolutely not. Josh Williams will have to apply for a playoff waiver now. Will NASCAR hand him a waiver after suspending him? It's a good question. They did give Johnny Sauter a waiver after suspending him from a Truck Series race a few years back. So the precedent is there. I think Josh Williams will get a playoff waiver, but you're never 100% sure with NASCAR. What do you think of NASCAR's decision? Let me know down in the comments below. Again, I didn't like the call on Saturday. Josh Williams, of course, the way he handled it, that did deserve a penalty, no doubt. But a suspension? I feel like NASCAR overreacted 2 different points this week. That's just the way I feel, but let me know how you feel down in the comments. Shout out to Josh Williams, though. He's taking full advantage of this, selling pretty cool Park It t-shirts where all the proceeds are going towards charity. And look at the engagement on this tweet. Nearly 5,000 likes as of this morning, 312,000 views or impressions. That's kind of huge. So Josh Williams, good dude. We know all about his work off the track. I hope he comes back from this even better. Gain some attention, some fan support. Good for him. I hope it works out for everyone. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please leave it a like. If you're new to the channel and you love NASCAR, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. And thank you as always to my Patreon supporters. I couldn't do the show without your continued support every single month. Thank you. I'll be back tomorrow, new episode of Out of the Groove Power Hour. Brennan and I will sit down with Carson Hosovar. We'll talk about the Atlanta race. Brennan and I will also answer some of your questions that you guys have sent in the past couple of weeks. So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be available here on YouTube as a video, but it'll also be available to listen on all major podcast platforms. That's Out of the Groove Power Hour, presented by Circle B Diecast. Can't wait to share the latest episode with y'all. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.